Hamwich either. It does sound good. I mean, it sounds like a sandwich basically. So
yeah. Well, it's a sandwich in an ice cream cone.
yeah.
Welcome to Undercooked Hamwich, where we continue to pick up some of Michael Eisner's weird ideas. I'm David.
I'm Kaela.
And I'm Michael Eisner.
Hi, Michael. How you doing?
I'm doing pretty good. I'm glad I'm not in charge of Disney right now.
Yeah, I know. I think sometimes people give you a bad rep because you made some weird decisions, but a lot of them were Jeffrey's fault. Let's be honest.
Yeah, and also like, don't forget there was a renaissance while I was in charge.
There was, Michael. I feel like people really rag on you for things. I mean, you made some boneheaded decisions, but I can't.
Well, who doesn't?
Everything. Yeah, well, I know I tell you who does all the time, and it's Jeffrey Katzenberg.
Well, we've done Anna Musings. We've gone through the whole history. Everyone who's ever worked in Disney, there's someone that has messed up somehow, or has ran Disney in a weird, awkward way.
It was me.
Yes.
Yeah, it was me.
It was
also,
me.
Well, real quick, Michael, I'm Michael Eisner of Sound, Mind, and Body. I'm gonna leave and let Benjamin take over.
Okay, thanks, Michael.
Let me just walk out.
Wow, that's some great. That mic picks up Michael Eisner like leaving the room. That's really crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
he must have some really like interesting shoes.
Yeah, he was walking on wood blocks. Believe it or not. By the way, this is Benjamin.
Hi, Benjamin. Was he wearing clogs?
Yeah, he's really into those those like authentic is it Finnish people, or no, Danish clogs.
Oh wow. So they're like they are practically wood blocks.
My apologies to Finnish and Danish people for not distinguishing their cultures.
I mean, Benjamin, this is undercooked analysis. I mean, whatever.
Yeah, well, it's undercooked understanding of the differences between places I know very little about.
That's okay. We're here. You're here because we need your Disney knowledge.
As usual, we have typecast you once again.
What the hell?
I know.
We are assholes.
Oh no. Well, I guess you roped me in again.
We got
just
you.
One more job.
Just this one job, and then you finally get to retire.
So is this going to be like Ambulance, where I was like, you got to do one last job, and then hours later we're stuck in the back of an ambulance with an injured Disney employee trying to keep him alive, so that freaking Bob Chapek doesn't snipe us from a helicopter.
Bob Chapek would snipe us from a helicopter, even if there wasn't.
Get your helos out of here! That's a line that like sticks out to me from the trailer. Is like who like what civilian like shouts helos? I assume this guy probably has some military background, but I don't know. It seemed weird out of context.
Get those Imagineers out of there!
This is a story from Shark Cake. Beth.
Who? Carry on there.
They say, "Hello, I would like to offer my story for your show. It was sent for a contest, and I would like to hear feedback. I hope you enjoyed." You are all very nice.
Wow.
Are you going to think we're nice after we read your story?
I mean, this is Beth's story. Beth knows what she's getting into.
But this is Shark Cake.
Sorry, Shark Cake. Whatever. It's Beth.
Are you sure? This doesn't sound
start.
anything like Beth. Beth never says you were all very nice. That doesn't seem like a very Beth thing to say.
Ouch.
Wow.
I could hear what I love about this is I could hear the tone of voice for this fictional character, just like, "Hello, I would like to offer my story for your show. It was sent for a contest, and I would like to hear feedback. I hope you enjoyed. You were all very nice. Also, consider the following: have a great time." And there's I like the little picture of the shark with the hat. There's a little picture of a shark with a hat.
That's cute.
And little stick figure legs. I'll share the image with you a little later, Benjamin.
Please.
We could use that image as
part of the thumbnail.
Yeah.
On YouTube.
Yeah.
Okay, we could do that. Also, there's a video link was attached. I made the mistake of clicking on it, and the video is the video is called "Elastigirl's Face Falls Off."
Oh, I freaking love that video.
Yeah.
That's a great snuff clip.
Oh my god.
No. Yeah, because she sneezed so hard from the snuff, her face came off.
Her face literally shoots off.
I love this clip here. The look on the guy's face as he sees just in horror. Like, oh shit.
I've spent many a wonderful hour watching malfunctions of certain Disney characters. Like there's one where Mike Wazowski comes out waving and his arm falls off. I think like someone runs on stage to pick it up, but like he's still got like the other arm. Like it's great.
Oh my god.
Oh no.
Yeah, costume malfunctions are amazing, but also so sad.
Well,
Anyway,
I mean, it's sad for a little bit. The kids will find it funny eventually, unless
They
it,
will
like
when they're
brings
not
up
over the trauma
major
of watching
trauma.
Elastigirl's face fall off because she sneezed so hard from the stuff.
Oh my god.
Is that what? Are we finally figuring out what a snuff film is? Because I've been confused this whole time. Anyway,
I'm gonna let you believe that just so that you live in a better world than I do.
I just don't understand why it's so illegal. It's just people sneezing after they sniff powder in their nose.
Oh my god.
David, I love that you believe that. Don't ever stop believing that. Otherwise,
why would I stop believing it? Is there something I should know?
No.
So let's, you know what? Let's read the story. So this was actually submitted for our a couple of years ago for our Disney contest, our Disney creepypasta contest.
Oh yeah, back in 2019.
Yeah,
1,000 years ago.
I mean, because of
back when the world was young.
Back when we all had hopes and dreams.
Pre-pandemic.
Back when we hadn't aged 100 years.
Back when
we were such dumber, foolish fools.
Back when Dune Part 1 hadn't come out.
Back when wait a minute.
Wait, there was okay.
Back when we were all lolling at how, or was that 2020?
What were we?
I'm already losing track of time. When we were all lolling at how bad Sonic the Hedgehog looked before they fixed him?
Oh yeah, no, that was before 2020 because that was
2019 then.
Was fixed and came out like really early on in the pandemic, and it played at drive-ins.
Because wasn't Alan saying like Sonic the Hedgehog was it was Cats, that was the last movie he saw.
Oh, yeah, God. That's right. Actually,
I mean, that's how I started 2020. I went to a screening of Cats on New Year's Day.
Oh my God. That should
have been a clue.
Yeah. I can't think of the last time I saw a movie in a theater.
Also, just since we've been talking about this earlier, if you love Cats, no shame on you. You love that movie. That's good.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. Again,
I have to put a disclaimer after every criticism.
We are not. If you like things that we don't like, that's okay.
Unless you like New Jersey, apparently. In which case you're wrong. I'm kidding. I've been through it. It seems nice.
I've never been through it. I've never been to the East Coast. So,
well, you went to Disney World at least once.
Does Florida count as East Coast?
Kinda.
It's like Southeast Coast.
I mean, it's along the eastern seaboard of America, right?
That's fair.
Well, as Sage says, whenever someone says, "Why would I go to Florida?" He responds, "You're not going to Florida. You're going to Disney World."
That's true.
Yeah. Or you're going to that one McDonald's that still has like a Moon Man animatronic figure.
That's right.
Oh my God.
Or you're going to St. Augustine to see the only the one-room schoolhouse that was built there in 1710.
Yeah, well, or to drink from the Fountain of Youth, which is just kind of water with mercury in it.
Yeah.
The one Ponce de Leon tried to find before he died from an infected arrow wound.
Yeah, it was an infected arrow wound and also the mercury poisoning from the water. Honestly, that's what did him in. They're like, please stop drinking this water. It's gonna kill you.
That's fine. It's gonna heal this arrow wound. Let me just pour this water all over this.
Just pour it on like Indiana Jones, which I'm sure will be a movie at some point. I ran out of air. I couldn't get out the joke.
The one mistake he made was that he didn't pour it out of the Holy Grail.
Yeah, exactly. It only works when you pour it out of the Holy Grail, kids. And remember, he was a carpenter, so always choose the shittiest looking grail. because he wasn't very good.
He was a shitty carpenter.
He was a very bad carpenter. He was a lot better at being a miracle person.
Wait a minute. I know Joseph was a carpenter.
Yeah, Jesus was a carpenter.
Jesus was also a carpenter.
Yeah.
Well, Jesus was learning to pick up the practice if being the Messiah didn't work out.
Is carpentry like the holiest job you could have in that case? Because you have the same job as Jesus.
I mean, when you think about it that way, yeah. I mean, I've often compared Harrison Ford to Jesus because he was like a guy who was a carpenter, then just happened to be friends with people that put him into amazing movies.
Yep. And then it turns out, oh look, he can act.
He went from being a carpenter to yelling, "Get off my plane!
Get off my plane!" And also, I mean, it just helped that he was like extremely sexy at all times of the day.
He still is kind of.
It's always baffling because there's times when I've spoken to people about Apocalypse Now, and I'm like, remember Harrison Ford was in that movie, and they're like, oh shit, that's right.
Yeah, he's that nerd at the beginning with the glasses.
Yeah,
the sexy ass nerd with the glasses.
Yeah. Honestly, yeah, it's kind of great whenever Harrison Ford wears glasses. Like it only happens a few times.
It's like, yeah, sure. Yeah, he's totally a nerd.
Remember that like voice that he puts on in Blade Runner when he's like talking to that one girl and he's like undercover and he's like, yeah, I've never seen a stripper before. I'm just here to
my God,
to inspect the boobies.
Yeah, okay. I also would want to bring up the cowboy that cowboy character he plays in American Graffiti. But
right, yeah,
So we're this feels like Dregs right now. Hey, if you want to hear Dregs, Patreon. Anyway, let's read this story, which is called.
Hey, if you want to hear Dregs, you're probably already listening to them. This has all been cut.
Yeah, except it's probably not actually. We already did the Dregs.
All right. Who's going first?
Well, did we address the story is called Smarter Than You Think?
Oh, yeah. It's called Smarter Than You Think.
Well, hang on. This story is called Smarter Than You Think.
Thank you, Benjamin.
You're welcome. It's...
You know, fuck you both. It's not hard to see how much of a mega corporation Disney has become in recent years.
What?
News to me.
Even ignoring their terrifying 27% monopoly over the film industry after buying up every geeky brand they could get their grubby rat fingers on, they have stakes in music, cruise ships, book publishing, theme parks, both television broadcasters and programs, retail products, and I'm only scratching the surface. They've been so ingrained into our daily life that you'd be hard-pressed to find a single American family that does not have at least one item in their home that ties back to the big three circles. The
three circles of hell.
Yeah. Which all are located in
Dante's
Disney.
Inferno is a lot shorter than I remember.
Dante just moved from the two small ears to the big Mickey head.
Yeah, well, the price of inflation, it even affects hell. I can't even afford a 1-bedroom studio in fucking hell. $3,000 a month, it's not worth it.
The notoriety for their family-friendly content has aided many a parent, babysitter, teacher, and camp counselor in knowing just what to grab to sate their children's attention.
So we have our mission statement from Shark Cake.
Yes.
Disney owns everything.
Yeah.
Disney owns your soul.
So this is like a baby paragraph. You want to also read this real quick?
It probably doesn't surprise you, however, that it's not all as wholesome as it seems. No fucking shit.
What?
Really?
I'm learning a lot already.
Oh my God. Look, I'm not here to throw around wild accusations that the Disney Corporation is conducting any sort of illegal business in the same way that you'd never accuse your boss of inappropriate conduct on his job, though you could swear you've heard some suspicious noises coming from the other side of his office door. All I know for sure is what I've learned from my time behind the curtain at one of the parks, and that's all I'm going to share. That's it? Okay, well, that was a short story.
Yeah, that was the end. And they all lived happily ever after. Like, this is like the end of like the original version of the Snow White ride, where like the witch gets struck by lightning and dies, and then it's like, and they all lived happily ever after.
The most total whiplash ending of a theme park ride is easily that.
At least Mr. Toad's Wild Ride had the decency to end with hell. Like they're like, yeah, you're in hell, bitch.
So
get off the ride.
So we can establish that one of the circles of hell affiliated with Disney is just the end of Mr. Toad's Wild Ride.
Yes.
If you want to visit the other two, you have to figure out where those are. But the Haunted Mansion is purgatory, limbo. Yes. So that means Mr. Toad is one circle of hell. We'll have to figure out what the other two are.
Yeah. Well, by the end of this episode, we'll figure out what the other two circles are.
Yeah. The other parts of Mickey's ears.
I have one in my mind, but I'll tell you in a minute, just so we can continue with the story.
Yes. Oh, I'm picturing an image now, though. I'll tell you at the end.
I wonder if we have the same idea.
Is it the idea that it's the Mickey head, but each the Mickey ovals, but each one has a different like thing superimposed in it? Like the left ear is one of those little devils from Mr. Toad.
Oh yeah. Well, that's exactly what I was imagining. Because have you seen like there's a breakdown of all of the content that Disney owns, and like it's done with the three circles that make a Mickey head. Oh. And like within the circles, it's just like this just massive collection of things, like subsidiaries that you don't even like, you've never even heard of, that you're like, oh, Disney owns this. All right.
That's so crazy.
Yeah.
I don't know about that image. Should that be I wonder if that should be the image.
Oh,
for this episode.
Yeah.
But with
I'll link it to you later. Just remind me to send it to you.
Yeah, if you could, that'd be great.
Sure.
Okay.
All right. Well, let me continue, and then I'll tell you later on what I think is in the second circle of hell.
Sounds good. Your paragraph's next anyway. So.
All right. There's going to be people that take the. All right. Give me 1 second. It's been a while since I read things out loud.
No, that's fair. It's fine. Do you mean to call Michael Eisner back in the room to help?
Oh yeah, wait, hang on. He's got his clogs back on. Has anyone had a handwich?
I did. Thanks, Michael. It was great.
All right, well that's good. All right, well I've said all I need to say.
Cool. Bye, Michael.
Bye, Michael.
Enjoy your clogs.
It's weird. He's not actually wearing clogs. He just has Jeffrey Katzenberg banging coconuts together. As he leaps away into the night.
He's got Jeffrey back doing that now that fucking Quibi has failed.
Oh God. It was always 10-minute videos that you have to pay for.
Oh man.
There's going to be people that take all this with a healthy level of skepticism, and I can't blame them. I'm going to lose some of you to my lack of proof that I even worked there. That's a risk I'm willing to take. Throwing my entire life away to rot in a cell over slipping job credentials or personal info into a call-out post isn't. Just try to trust me when I say I'm a few links higher in the chain than your average cast member. But people still have a right to know about this.
Holy shit, Ben, did you write this?
Yes, it was all me. I'm the shark named Beth.
It's been an elaborate ruse this whole time.
He is a few links higher than your average cast member.
I'm curious what evidence is presented here. Maybe then we can identify if it really is, or if you're just covering for someone else. Is this like a witness protection program? Is it your dad?
I wrote this in the voice of my dad.
Well, that explains the weird voice at the beginning, because your dad usually says, "You are all very nice now."
yeah, he does say that a lot.
He does, actually. Yeah. You're honestly, your dad's a sweetheart.
Yeah.
We adore him.
My dad is a wonderful, nice person who just celebrated, I think it was his 32nd year at Walt Disney Imagineering. So
damn. Congratulations.
Tell Steve congratulations, and we say hi.
I will. And to all of you out there in podcast land, if you're not familiar with my dad, Steven Spiegel, he's a writer for Disney. And that's not a rider. He does not ride rides for a living, although he does. That is part of the job.
Bullshit. He totally rides.
He doesn't ride rides. He writes rides.
Yeah, he writes the scripts that then form the stories that you're imagination is filled with as you enter attractions such as Spider-Man's Web Slingers at Avengers Campus, or Star Tours The Adventures Continue, or one that I think it's partially mentioned in this next paragraph, but Honey, I Shrunk the Audience was one of his first major writing gigs at Imagineering.
But we can't go through this without mentioning his opus, which is of course Drew Carey in Sounds Dangerous.
I love that attraction so much. There was a couple months that I lived in Florida with my family because my dad was working out there, and I was being homeschooled, so we were like, let's go travel abroad to Florida. It eventually did work out that we did get to live in like France for a couple of months, which was actually traveling abroad, which was cool.
All my jealousy.
Yeah, but
not about France, not about Florida.
Well, you lived in Florida for years, didn't you? You worked at the theme parks?
Not years, just for 6 months, but
just for 6 months. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I think that's still a longer period in one go than I did. I only lived there for maybe 3 months at a time, like twice.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
I would some days I would get like a day to spend by myself, like go to the parks or whatever. Because my family had like passes and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And so I would go to Epcot. Just it's one of my favorite places in the world, and
which is good because it's a place about the world.
Yeah, exactly. It's tied for my favorite park. Like, I'm really close to saying it's my favorite in the entire world, but there's so much I love about almost all the parks. Like, they're all great.
Oh yeah.
But anyway, that aside, I would go to Hollywood Studios, and I would go to that attraction multiple times in a row because I just loved it so much.
That was not me knocking it, by the way.
Either. Oh yeah,
no, like it, but I'm like, no one remembers it. No one remembers Sounds Dangerous.
It's super awesome. And also, I talked to the director of that, Jerry Reese, someone who sometime you should talk to on one of your podcasts, because he's a cool guy. He directed Extraterrestrial Alien Encounter, among other things.
Talk about a guy who understands horror.
Oh yeah, no, he's great. Well, you may remember him best as being the director of The Brave Little Toaster, the original.
Oh, hey, if you could get us in contact with him,
I absolutely can. I'm sure he'd be delighted to talk to you.
That would be fun. I would dig.
Yeah,
just
super nice.
The dark side of these. No, they'd fit phenomenal. Anyway, you heard it here first, folks. And since I'm editing this tonight, I'm not cutting a lot of this.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but he directed it, and he was telling me stuff about how all of the footage was actually a camera that was placed on Drew Carey. I think they even had the binaural headphones and stuff attached to him.
Oh wow!
So you are actually getting Drew Carey's perspective that entire time.
Drew Vision,
and both my dad and Jerry said Drew was a super nice guy. Had a lot of fun ideas, and was a delight to work with. So.
That's awesome.
So I think that is I think, first of all, Defunct Land should do an episode about that. I would just like to relive the magic of that. Also, I want to I was at the park actually this past week. And it for the first time ever in the literal decades I've been going to Disneyland, I was actually escorted off of a ride.
Whoa!
Really?
Yeah, it was for public masturbation, but that's besides the point. No. What happened was I was on the Star Wars: Rise of the Resistance, and you all have been on that attraction.
Yes.
Fun ride.
And so, if you remember, where you get to the section where Kylo Ren and General Hux are on the bridge,
mm-hmm.
There's these the prisoners have escaped, and then Kylo Ren turns around menacingly. It's like, how brave but ultimately hopeless. So he turns around, right? The ride has been functioning perfectly. It's been an amazing experience. Kylo Ren turns around, and then everything shuts down. The screens turn off, all the lights turn on, like Kylo Ren freezes in place staring at us. And so then like the people like the intercom was like, oh, sorry, there's been a malfunction on the attraction. The rebels will be sure to escort you off the ride momentarily. We sat there for like 20 minutes. We kept like filming like videos where like I was just like looking at Kylo Ren asking for the Wi-Fi password or where the bathroom was. And eventually we were escorted both by rebels and Imperials, or well, not Imperials, the first order. They were both working together to get us off the
We have a common enemy, the breakdown of our reality.
Yeah, so they then opened a door and they led us backstage. And looking backstage, I marveled at the fact that the first order spaceship looks a lot like a modern office building. But that thing was a labyrinth. Like even they were like kind of having to reference like maps or whatever on their own to try and figure out how to get out of the building.
That's amazing. Wow.
Yeah, but so that was because I've been on a ride that's like broken down. Like we were all on Indiana Jones together.
Yeah, when we thought they were gonna escort us off, but they ended up just
I mean, honestly, that's one of the scariest things that's ever happened though, was so we were on the attraction having a blast. We sang the Indiana Jones theme together. This was literally nanoseconds after. Yeah, it was nanoseconds after you made your vows to each other.
Yeah, Kaela and I kissed, and then we were instantly in the car going into the Chamber of Mara.
Yeah, but like it was broken down. Like you're just like your love magic was too powerful.
It still is.
Yeah, the freaking mojo.
Giggity.
But so that's like a fond memory that I have that I'll never forget. It was like we're on Indiana Jones and it broke down like right as we were like going into that large scene, like that I'd consider that the centerpiece of the whole attraction when you're about to cross the bridge.
Yeah.
And so like the attraction stopped, all the lights turned on. I think we figured someone like dropped a backpack or something like it seemed like that's what they were dealing with. So we sat there for like 15-20 minutes. And then they were like, all right, restarting attraction, get prepared for sync. And so the lights remain on for a little bit, and the car is doing all the movements that I have memorized because I've been on this attraction so many damn times. And so like we're going around, we go around the corner past the snake.
There's no audio, by the way.
Yeah, no audio. The lights are on. It's interesting. I was like, we're just gonna ride the attraction like this, and then as soon as we get down below the bridge that we were once precariously positioned upon, we get below that, everything turns back on. Like the lights shut back to like the way that they're supposed to be, and all the audio comes back on. And it was the scariest shit that's ever happened.
We all screamed and jumped.
Because it was like we got jump scared by the music and the ride itself. Just like so it's like ha ha ha.
Honestly, Disney should kind of lean into like the creepy attraction aspect that we see in a lot of like creepypastas, and they should make an attraction that's themed as like an attraction, but like that's like been abandoned for decades or whatever. In fact, they should repurpose that island that still has the music playing or whatever, and then like have people like show up to that and have it be a whole like haunted scary experience.
That'd be kind of cool.
But you have to be 18 and older so that you don't scare the children.
We got to finish this story.
Oh, yeah. Anyway, I apologize for that tangent. I thought that was a fun anecdote.
It's a great. We've been on anecdotes. I mean, if I don't know if you've all noticed, but we're kind of padding this a little bit because this is admittedly a pretty short story.
Yeah. And my apologies to Beth. I don't mean to interrupt the flow of your story.
Well, luckily we only got through the first like page, and there's like 3 pages. It's all.
And then
let's keep it going.
All right.
And then also I want to see if any of this that Beth says in this is true. I want your insight since you clearly know your shit.
I'll do whatever doesn't break whatever like boilerplate NDA I signed when I joined the company.
I first had my suspicion that things were amiss when I heard internally that they were going to build the new Star Wars attraction. The long outdated Honey, I Shrunk the Kids movie set adventure was getting about as much foot traffic as Splash Mountain's queue in heavy rain. So it only made sense to replace the glorified McDonald's playpen that had surpassed its brand's relevance by 20 years.
That's a pretty good description.
No, yeah.
Yeah. Yet, despite the enormous cash cow of an idea they had that they were eager to suck dry, when it came to tearing the thing down, they hesitated much longer than they ever should have. It wasn't until after they solidified plans to open Toy Story Land in Hollywood Studios that anyone could take so much as a brick out. The press release announcements for both new areas came decidedly further apart to ensure they were publicly disassociated. Only then were they ready to squeeze out every last drop.
I want to make a slight correction, or I may be making a correction that has ultimately changed, but I believe the original sponsor of that playpen area was Kodak, not McDonald's.
I think it was Kodak. I think the idea
you
is
like slide down like a piece of like Kodak film or something, right?
You do. Yeah, it is. It was, you are correct. It was sponsored by Kodak, but I think the joke is because it's like a McDonald's play piece.
All right. Never mind. I retract my objection.
Because I mean, yeah, the idea behind that play place is like everything is giant and huge, like you're in Honey, I Shrunk the Kids, and it's mostly for kids to run around, slide down a slide, like the play place.
Yeah. No, I mean that's an apt description. I misread it as them saying that it was sponsored by McDonald's and not. Forget I said it.
I get you.
I think is it me?
It's you.
Yes.
Once the location was settled on, it was smooth sailing for a while. A map was sketched, models were built, and every inch of this place was planned and plotted to sculpt every detail of what I'd almost go so far as to call any Star Wars fan's wet dream. They made sure to craft almost every avenue of Galaxy's Edge to be as unique as an experience as possible. When it came to the restaurants and food stands, though, they insisted on not just one, but two beverages based on the infamous blue bantha milk. It wasn't enough to have just one mocktail featured at the cantina. The world had to have its own milk stand as well.
I mean, you gotta have both the original blue milk and then the green milk that frickin' Luke personally sucks out of a giant space cow's tit.
Well, they didn't give us the green like sea creature milk, so.
I honestly I do want the Gungan City experience.
Oh my goodness! You know what was weird?
What?
I do too.
Yeah, right. I mean, like that's say what you want, but like that city has a cool design. I would hang out there.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
All right.
Yeah.
Then came their handling of the rest of the overall park's mascots in the coming months. It was a subtle change. However, I noticed meet and greet schedules ever so slightly gave more focus to characters like Chip and Dale, Baloo, Timon, no Pumbaa, Judy and Nick. Who the fuck is Judy and Nick?
They're from Zootopia.
Oh, okay, yeah. So Judy Hopps and Nick
Wilde,
the fox guy.
Yeah.
Nicholas
Is it weird
Wilde.
that I remember Judy's last name and not Nick's?
Because you're not wild about Nick.
No, I love Nick.
I'm just
Jason Bateman. How could I not love him?
That's fair. That's totally fair.
And the Winnie the Pooh gang. Eeyore, Tigger, Jafar.
Optimus
Could you
Prime.
imagine if Jafar hung out with Winnie the Pooh?
That would be interesting.
Oh,
Winnie
the Pooh.
Could you imagine
let's
the
go,
scene?
Let's go enjoy the 100-acre wood together, Pooh.
Yes, let's, Jafar. Could you imagine if Pooh was there when they found the Cave of Wonders and that one guy gets eaten by it and it closes up, but instead of Iago, it's Pooh, and Pooh just goes, "Oh bother."
Oh bother. I just like to imagine like Jafar, like that's what's inside of the lamp. He gets like sucked in. He's like infinite power, and then he's like just stuck in the 100-acre wood where everyone is just like so pleasantly content.
He's stuck in the Kingdom Hearts version of the 100-acre
oh
wood.
my god, where like you can't fight, you can only hit.
It's just mini games.
Yeah, like it literally changes the command from attack to hit.
Wow.
Yeah.
Anyway,
I heard complaints from plenty of workers, more than a little upset, that they were demoted from face to fur cast members.
Okay, continue. Hold on. This is something I kind of take, especially since it's Disney World, but continue.
Okay, yeah. We'll finish this paragraph and hold on to that thought.
Yeah.
Sure, the big rodent himself, along with his posse and enough costume changes to quite literally fill entire rooms on their own, had their timetables untouched. But even some of the princesses took a back burner to these arguably lesser characters. The only gowned maiden that maintained her constant schedule was Cinderella. I know World wasn't the only location that did this.
Okay. So, because I remember reading this for our contest.
Mhm.
I mean, for the most part, the writing is good. I think I just got a little confused by what was going on, and maybe I can understand it more as we're rereading it. It's been a long time since I read this, but one thing that kind of bothers that is, and I mean, Beth wouldn't know this. Cast members at Disney World specifically, I don't know about Disneyland. More often than not, the fur characters you meet are also probably the people that you see as face as well. A lot of the entertainers double up on, or not even double up, like quadruple up. They play a variety of characters.
Right.
But maybe it's you could argue that this would be a point where you'd argue that it's frustrating that they're like, we're doing this character again. What happened to us being, why are we not getting as many face roles?
No. I mean, that's not even so it's not a consistent thing. It's it's not an inconsistent thing. There's a lot of times they will play the same role for months at a time. And then it's like, okay, we now need you for this role. Okay. Or it also depends on what they're working for. So like for example, they're going to be in this parade. Chances are they're going to play the same character in that parade.
Right.
Okay.
Depending on their height. But then they might be like, we're now going to, you're now going to be brought in for the walking characters and you get to be a fur. And even then, a lot of fur characters or have a lot of fun if they're walking people.
Yeah.
Because then they get to like play around and improv and have fun. Some of them have enjoyed it more than face characters. So this is a little, again, Beth wouldn't know that, but it's not as demoting as you think it is. Right. It's really not much of a demotion. It's really just where they would be hired. Like,
sure.
And usually it's like, I'm going to be Chippendale. Chances are every time they're going to be cast as Chippendale, more often than not for like a parade or for a section of the park. It's all based on height. So like Chippendale, 5'4", Baloo, 6 feet. Timon shorter. I want to say like 5'1". I don't know about Judy and Nick. Winnie the Pooh is also shorter, except for Tigger, who I think is about 5'7" to 5'9". So
now we know.
You heard it here first, folks. These are the official heights of these characters. Frickin' Baloo is gigantic and could kill you.
He is a bear.
Baloo is tall. You actually.
I mean, it makes sense. Baloo is a bear. To be fair, though, Mickey and Minnie are a lot taller than you would expect them to be in real life.
No, they're short. They're about 4'11" to 5 foot, about 5 feet.
Yeah, but that's a gigantic mouse.
Okay. Can
you imagine if you saw a 5-foot mouse in your house?
That's true.
Mouse is in my house.
Mouse house.
Okay, I think this is all right. So I just read. So I think that's Kaela now.
Yeah. It was when Mrs. Incredible started showing up to some events alone instead of alongside her usual red and blue clad companion. Blue.
Oh, when they do have a costume change.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and they do. Yeah, that too.
Wait. They wear blue?
I thought.
No, it's red and black.
I'm misremembering because don't they have at one point? I never did see The Incredibles 2, so I don't know. Well,
the Frozone wears blue.
That's true. Okay, fair enough.
Okay.
Did I ever tell you, like Ty, when we went to Disneyland together one time, He like saw Frozone, and he like like he was playing it up a little bit, but he kind of had like a legit like he was like legit starstruck. He's like, it's Frozone. He's like, well, go take a picture with him. He's like, no, it's really him.
It was when Mrs. Incredible started showing up to some events alone instead of alongside her usual red and blue clad companions that I began to dig deeper into these increasingly bizarre decisions.
This feels like a hunch at this point.
Yeah, the problem is these decisions aren't as odd to me. I think that's one of
is
the
it
reasons.
okay? Like, what are we noticing the oddness yet? Question for you two: are we noticing the oddness yet as readers? Like the whole thing about like emphasis put on the fact that there's more milk stands.
No, even like
that didn't feel. I mean, and then like the thing about the appearance of more of these specific candidates, and then Mrs. Incredible by herself. Like I'm not.
Winnie the Pooh is still very popular. So is Chip and Dale. I don't. It's not as odd to me when I read that. Like it'd be more odd if you went really obscure. Like, oh, Prince John is now being focused on
Brer Rabbit's coming out today. I guess they're going more racist than usual.
We got the country bears in the house. What?
Oh man, I'd lose my shit if the country bears showed up.
They do have mascot country bear characters.
Yeah, they do.
Amazing.
They do.
That the country bears show, I fucking love it.
Me too.
I go when I'm in Florida. I try and go whenever I can, and it cracks me up. I have a blast.
Oh, we need to watch the Country Bears at some point.
Oh my god.
Oh no.
Country
Bear Hall has been crushed.
And
he just like keeps pulling out more and more models. That's the only scene I've seen in the movie, but
it's kind of great.
Yeah. Why was that not nominated for fan favorite movie moments at the Oscars this year? You know about that?
A fan, really?
Yeah, they had polls by the fans or movie fans on like Twitter or whatever from the Oscars.
Yeah,
and they're like, what's your favorite like wow moment from such and such? And so they did like the like best, like I think it was like applause moment or something like that. And so like tell me if this makes sense to you. Okay. The number 3, I believe, was the Avengers Assemble moment from Endgame. I forget. Have you seen Endgame?
Nope.
All right. Well, then this probably won't make any sense to you.
That's all right. I mean,
are you aware of the scene at least?
Yeah. Nope. Vaguely.
Okay.
Nope.
Well, it's the big moment when like literally like every character that you've been introduced to over the past decade all like assembles.
Okay.
And they have like this big awesome fight, and Captain America finally says, "Assemble." And then the number 1 moment was when the Flash runs fast in the Justice League.
Okay.
What?
And I'm underplaying it a little bit. Like it was a big moment in the movie for sure, but like they did not spend 10 years setting that up.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. So I mean, it seems kind of strange to me, but like, you know, if that's a fan favorite, that's a fan favorite. I liked Zack Snyder's cut of Justice League. I can't complain.
David, your turn.
Is it me?
Yes.
Okay. Though this influence hasn't woven itself into the international parks quite as extensively, it's clear Americans aren't the only test mice they're experimenting on. Test mice. I dig it.
Nice.
Unlike its long dismantled submarine voyage counterpart, the giant squid attack in Tokyo's 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea plays a much more prominent role on a larger scale, with writhing tendrils surrounding riders braving the ocean depths. The Ratatouille ride in Paris, where guests are shrunken down to talk eye to eye with the rat protagonist, has become so popular. It's
Remy. His name is Remy. It's played by Patton Oswalt. Don't you disrespect Remy.
I did.
I'm not talking to you. I'm talking to freaking shark, baby shark, left shark, whoever. Remy.
Cakey shark. Cakey shark.
Their name's Beth.
They are cool. Has become so popular that it's being brought to Epcot. Plans to add a Zootopia themed expansion to the Shanghai Park are now underway, making an experience immersive enough to put even the largest convention to shame. Parks and resorts across the globe have implemented both cheaper and more accessible buffet spreads for visitors to get their fill and then some.
I don't see the weirdness.
But this isn't enough for them.
I still don't see the weirdness. That's the problem.
Well, we've got a few paragraphs
I think the weirdness is capitalism, which I do find weird.
Yeah.
How do you want me to do this? Should I just read like 2 sentences of this and then you take 2 sentences, Kayla?
Yeah, I'll do that.
Okay. I know what's coming. I know why. And I know I would never sleep at night knowing this secret would die with me. They don't want you to know why more and more animal mascots would appear in the parks in the coming years. I think I know where this is going, but go ahead.
They don't want you to know why stunt shows are being rewritten to feature kidnapped princesses in ropes, cages and changes.
We're stuck in cages.
They don't want you to know why stunt shows are being rewritten to feature kidnapped princesses in ropes, cages, and chains.
What the fuck? You had a second chance.
I know, and
I like changes in cages though.
Changes in cages.
Wow, David can't even say it.
Gotcha.
All right,
No,
listen.
I'm said
Princesses in ropes, cages, and chains.
Good job,
Remy.
They don't want you to know why they're planning to build a Jungle Book ride in Epcot, heavily featuring Mowgli's encounter with the infamous snake.
Oh, hypnosis.
They're just. Is that real? I haven't heard about this.
It could be made up, but I mean, the way it's written, the fact that's one good thing, definitely one good thing about this. She does use a lot of like real world things going on to eventually explain something like for the future that who knows, maybe it might happen, it might not. I do like that that adds that aspect. I will give it that.
Yeah, no, I mean a lot of these I for sure know about. I have not heard about the Jungle Book one.
I don't think it's real, but
So you know about the cages and chains and ropes that are gonna happen.
Well, I've said too much.
Disney's practices are despicable. You're despicable. Inadvertently, they planted the seed, a fixation in an entire generation of men and women for aspects in their films they have no intention of sparking, and now they're reaping its benefits for all they're worth. Their family-friendly exterior is covering the public indulgence that they're profiting from, without the slightest hint of shame. While parents carry their children through a magical fantasy world, hundreds, if not thousands of adults will be drawn like flies to honey to the rides that captivate them the most.
Okay, I'm gonna finish this up and then we can share our comments. But
yeah.
All I'm saying is that in the coming years, if they announce a ride, parade, stage show, or experience where the celebratory balloons are not the only things pumped full of air, don't say I never warned you.
So
the end.
What's the warning here? I'm trying to.
They're saying Disney is now intentionally trying to be a fetish vehicle instead of unintentionally sparking it, and then they realize that they can do it. So they're putting subliminal fetish material in their stuff.
And I say good for them. It's okay to like that movie.
It's okay to think that
was a reference to Action Button reviews, in case anybody listens to that.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that makes sense. Because why Mrs. Incredible,
because she got thick ass.
Or Mowgli's encounter with the infamous snake.
So I guess when they're talking about Chip and Dale, Baloo, Timon, Judy and Nick, and Winnie the Pooh, they're referring to
furries.
Well, specifically, I mean, I think they're thinking of like furries who like derive sexual pleasure rather than like the broad furry community, which I've come to understand is not always a sexual thing.
No, and this is true.
I think that the choice of characters could have been a little more furry-ish. Just like they're also suddenly
Robin Hood.
Yeah, well, Robin Hood is legit sexy. It doesn't matter if you're a furry or not.
Fair.
I'm trying to think of
they don't have mascots of these, but Vixie from
oh god,
from fucking Fox and the Hound.
Yeah.
Oh, what about the who's Max's crush in
Roxanne.
yeah, I mean, come on, everybody.
Yeah.
No, I mean that's fair, even if she's like what in high school.
Yes, but keep in mind that I watched this movie when I was like 6.
Yeah, well, I mean, a
So,
lot of people had like
she's like
cartoon
47
girl crush on
now.
Roxanne. No, I get you.
But the whole
like, I mean, like the characters like age exactly the same amount in real life. So you got
Now she's
like,
a well,
you know,
how
80-year-olds.
though would it be if we see Roxanne years later and she's happily married to another woman and has two adopted kids and is a successful career mom.
Although okay, so I'm looking at this one paragraph though. I got confused with the fetishization. I get 20,000 Leagues Under Sea, you know, fucking squid has that tentacle hentai sort of feel. I don't get a Ratatouille. Is Ratatouille sexy?
Gigantism. The idea that you being shrunken down and there are people around that are bigger than you.
Or Patton Oswalt is as a sex icon.
I mean,
name is Remy.
Because it's Remy. You're going down to Remy's level.
Zootopia, I totally understand. Okay, so it is the whole thing's about okay.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
I feel like here's my first take on this is that I feel like this piece assumes a lot about everyone's biases about how they feel about certain content. I think the writer assumes that we all feel the same way that they do about like certain things being featured at theme parks. And that's up to you whether or not you think that's a good thing or a bad thing.
Well, I mean, I like the idea though that like the subliminal is not going to be as subliminal anymore. Like potentially, like they're talking about more like they're going to lean a little more into it, like the whole thing with like the more animal mascots, cages, ropes,
wow,
cages,
what
chains.
The fuck is up with that sentence?
Ropes, cages, and chains. Ropes, cages, and chains. Ropes, cages, and chains. Got it. Okay.
Also, I have to disagree with that. I think Disney over the years has gone hard against princesses being in ropes, cages, and or chains.
No, this is true. Hey, but hey, they are smart. Look what happened with Encanto, and now everybody's thirsty for Bruno. I mean, everybody's thirsty for Bruno.
I mean, yeah. You know who voices him, right?
It's John Leguizamo. I totally don't. I'm not judging.
Yeah. Listen,
we ain't going broke, Mario. We're already there.
Like, do you remember like the young versions of the grandpa and grandfather in that movie?
Oh yeah,
they're sexy as fuck too. Like they made like so many sexy characters in that film.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you got to join us for Encanto. But yeah, you know, I think the reason why. So this it's still a fun story. I kind of like the idea.
It's super tongue in cheek.
It's very
which I like. Is what I like about it.
Okay.
And now reading it's very tongue. I think the reason it didn't get it like as high as other stories is we really wanted something more like, oh, it's clearly something's wrong with Disney, rather than this almost is a little too subtle, almost, or a little like.
Well, yeah, because I read it as serious actually.
Yeah,
I thought they were dead serious about like.
Don't you see? They're brainwashing you with subliminal sex images, and you're gonna
at first
lap it up.
At first, honestly, I thought like that they were upset that they were being like conglomerate, like mega corporate greed shit, which I do think is legitimately evil. Like that's his own topic, but
yeah. Well, I mean, I was gonna say at the beginning they have that whole thing like they didn't even consider tearing down the Honey I Shrunk the Kids play area until they had something else that could substitute you being small.
Yeah,
which was Toy Story.
It's the whole joke. Again, it took until talking with you that that clicked. I would have got, because there's a couple. That was actually a couple things when I was reading. I'm like, but I don't understand why that's such a big deal. I don't like.
And then like imbibing alien milk.
Yeah. Okay. So again, once I talk about it with you, I can now understand. Oh, it's a whole it's the fetishism. But wait, go back down. What's the last sentence about being pumped? Wait.
Oh, the last sentence in here. Oh, being pumped full of. They're not the celebratory balloons are not the only things pumped full there. So literally inflation fetish.
Inflation, yeah.
Like there's going to be a parade where like characters will be inflated, and it's going to be like, oh, look how silly, and then like people who have an inflation fetish.
Okay,
like,
yeah. They.
By the way,
weird.
Not insulting anyone's fetish here whatsoever.
No.
Just being clear here, gang.
Yeah.
I'm just saying they're preying on the horror of the story is Disney's smart enough to subliminally put it there and then prey on the fact that you'll buy into it.
Okay, now that because now I'm remembering reading it, I don't think it's now taking talking with you guys to finally like, this is okay, that makes more sense.
Yeah.
When I first read it, there was like, well, I don't understand what makes it a big deal. It didn't click, and now it's like, oh, this clicks more. Okay.
All right, yeah. So we've successfully, or at least we hope so. We've successfully rooted out what the theme and like the intention of the story is. I think that's probably our most helpful critique is that you just need to make that clearer.
It's I don't know, because the humor behind this is also, is this person really reaching and they're kind of a crackpot, or I think it could be, you know what, maybe it could be hinted a little bit more.
I have a hard time because I think it strikes it's an interesting balance when you go back and read it. It does a lot with a little, but I do like the idea that, is this person a crackpot, or have they really figured this out? And then at a certain point, it's like, if they figured it out and you realize that they're doing this, like, but how appalled, like your mileage may vary. How appalled are you by this news?
Yeah, but it shouldn't.
Or are you turned on?
Or are you like, yes, let Disney subtly put fetishism in everything they do?
It shouldn't take me talking with two people to be like, let's go in. Wait, what? Hold on. Wait, how does this work? What about this? And then you remind me about giganticism and inflation. Yeah, I forget because I don't know every single fetish in the world.
But we do, apparently.
Benjamin
and I routinely get together and just talk about fetishes.
Yeah, that's right.
We're like, so what about this fetish? And you're like, nope. What about this one? And I'm like, his name is Remy.
We now know about
I think
rabid defense of Remy.
I think because you had a little bit of apprehension about this, David, and feel free to clarify further. But I still feel like making it like being a little bit more clear is a valid criticism.
No, I'd say so. I wasn't saying like, I mean, like, in my opinion, I don't know, because I kind of like the balance it strikes of like being like, but look, I'm not like, they're smarter than you think, but maybe you should show them that you're not as I don't know. I feel like it's a fine line there's a fine line between spelling it out.
I'm not saying spelling out each and every one. I want at least one thing spelled out a bit more. So then I'm like, oh, it's fetishism. And then I can be like, wait, and then have it all click for me, because it didn't click for me automatically.
Okay.
Well, I don't like. I'm kind of on the. I think on the same wavelength as Kaela, because I feel like we're never given like. We don't need explicit clarification, but I think it would help to like elaborate on some of the points, like talking about like some of the points, and then like describe it in a more sexual way, but without like actually like saying this is the fetish.
Yeah.
Also, to be fair, this was written with a hard word count limit.
That's true. Yeah. And I get it.
I was about to ask what the limitations of this contest were.
Yeah, there was a word limit. There was a
there was a prompt.
There was a prompt and all that.
What was the prompt?
Write a spooky Disney parks themed creepypasta.
Basically, the idea is write.
That's actually good.
Write something about Disney, the Disney park, and making it seem less innocent than it really is. And I also requested try to not focus on their newly bought ones. Like I didn't want something to be focused completely on Star Wars or because when you just focus or like Marvel, because if the focus was too much on that, it loses the Disney touch. Because like
sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah. So
I was just going to interject that what the real horror is of Disney World is that the Maelstrom attraction is no longer with us.
May Maelstrom rest in peace.
Yeah, it's literally one of my favorite attractions ever.
I mean, I understand why it was replaced. I really like it makes a lot of sense.
Yes.
But at the same time, yes.
I'm not saying you're wrong if you love the Frozen attraction. I'm just saying they should have taken Maelstrom, airlifted it to the back of my house so that I could ride it every day, all the time.
Thank you, Shark Cakes, for
Thanks, Sharky.
Yeah, thank you. And here's the thing. I will say, as far as this is concerned, like this subject, like having your own personal fetishes and all that is great. That's really cool. It is probably problematic for Disney to cash in on that and put it in their theme parks, I guess. So that's
just like it's problematic for any corporation to like exploit people for profit, but
right.
That's an entirely different ethical question too.
Yeah, well, I mean, I don't think it's a problem to like lean into like fetishism, but when it's like content for children, where children are going to be hanging out, that's when it's an issue. So I see where there's a horror aspect to this story,
because it's also the subliminal shaping of probably young people so they can continue to embrace these weird fetishes. You're like, we unintentionally did this and now we know and we're going to lean into it. That's
yeah.
And another thing too is
you're going to need therapy later.
The writing's still good, but Beth's writing has always, I mean, Beth has run once.
Beth has won and placed in multiple writing challenges of ours. So
it is unfair that Beth is as talented as she is.
I do enjoy the shark cake persona.
Yes,
it almost has like that little drawing at the end actually made me think of that dumb thing from the Snowman. Oh, Mr. Police.
Yeah, well, thank you for letting us read your story, and I hope our criticism and our notes are helpful.
And yeah, I did enjoy reading this, and thank you, Benjamin, for joining us for this read.
Thank you for having me, and I hope I was entertaining.
You usually are.
Not this time.
Not this time.
Fucking Remy.
Is there anything you'd like to plug?
My butt.
Well, I guess we did just read a story about fetishes. Okay.
No, is there anything I want to plug? I don't know. Go watch Guns Don't Lie. That's a movie that I made.
Yeah. That's a movie.
Listen to this podcast and every podcast that's included in this network. If you don't listen to every podcast in this network every day of your fucking life, I'm gonna send you a postcard. You're gonna get that postcard and you'll be like, who the hell's this from? And like it's just gonna have like some weird, vague, nonsense on it, and you're just gonna be a little bit creeped out.
That's a pretty strong threat you're putting out there, my dude.
Yeah, I mean, listen, I've gotten weird shit in the mail and been like, the fuck sent this to me, and then like thought about it for weeks.
It happens. It does happen.
Yeah,
it's happened to us. I'm sure.
Dun, dun, dun.
It could happen to you.
It could happen to you. But yes, Benjamin already basically plugged the Creative Horror Network for us, so we don't have to. But if you'd like to submit a story for us to read on UCA, please email us at midnightmarinara@gmail.com. We will put your story in the queue and consider it. We do curate them a little bit, but we try to make sure we get them mostly in the order they come in. Just really depends on how we handle it. Patrons, however, of our Patreon do get first priority. We tend to bump those to the top of the list. So if you'd like to get your story submitted earlier and also hear the backlog of ridiculous content, including Joyce Dregs, you can join us on Patreon, Midnight Marinara or patreon.com/Midnight Marinara. That's the way you do it. Money for nothing, chicks for free. And you can donate at any dollar level per month, and you get access to our Discord and a bunch of other cool stuff.
And a Christmas story.
Yes, that's right.
If you don't pay David $1 million in cash,
Yes,
via postcard.
The infamous Christmas story. Well, I know that Alan's been saying, "Hey, when can we record with Benjamin again?" I like that guy.
I like that Alan guy too.
We'll get you all together on one pretty soon. But
that'd be super fun. I'd be super into that. And also, I want to say, just as a tangential mention, also everybody, I'm gonna plug Animal Fact Files. If you want to know more about animals, go subscribe to Animal Fact Files. They also have a Patreon.
Yeah,
they're on YouTube, by the way. Animal Fact Files. Well, so is Creative Horror. Creative Horror is on YouTube as well. But if you want to support our friends on Animal Fact Files, who actually did sponsor a contest with us, our most recent one, the Cryptic Contest, go check them out. They're awesome.
Yeah. Also, his name is fucking Remy. I'll never forgive you.
Good evening, intrepid listeners. This is the Pasta Shade, the host of Midnight Marinara, and this podcast is part of CreativeHorror.com, a network of podcasts and creators working together to build a constructive community of horror fans. For more content like this, visit us at CreativeHorror.com.